Hey everyone, welcome back to Jam Crypto. Today I'm sitting down with Jim, the Senior Business Development Manager at Caleb & Brown, a premium crypto service that gives you a dedicated broker to guide you through your crypto journey. Honestly, thinking back to when I first started in crypto, I really wish I had someone to hold my hand and walk me through step by step. And with Caleb & Brown, you can do just that. You can literally set up a call with your broker anytime for personalized advice, whether it's about transferring funds, picking the right assets, or talking through general market trends. So no more guessing, no more confusion, just straight up expert guidance. So let's dive into my conversation with Jim, because who better to answer all those burning questions than the people who know the space inside and out. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to Jam Crypto, and today I'm very excited because I have a special guest with us. He's the Senior BD Manager at Caleb & Brown, which is one of the leading crypto brokerage services out there. So welcome, Jim. Welcome to the channel. How are you feeling today?
Feeling great. Thanks for having me on, Jamie.
Since this is your first time on this channel, why don't we start by having a brief introduction about yourself, who you are, how did you get into crypto, and why Caleb & Brown?
Yeah, sure. So a bit about me and my background. I studied a law commerce degree here in Melbourne, Australia, which is where I'm based and currently reside. I first learned about crypto back in 2017, and it was through a friend that was explaining to me the smart contract functionality of Ethereum. Having studied a law degree at the time, that really interested me because I was doing a degree thinking how archaic the law system was and learning about this new technology that contracts could be executed via code, and just found that really fascinating. So from there, learned so much and actually invested in Ethereum. And then from there, learned about Bitcoin and obviously learned about blockchain. And from there, that really just sparked my curiosity. Since then, I've really tried to stay as involved as I can in crypto. I worked at Accenture before Caleb & Brown and worked in their digital assets team there, and really wanted to really do this at some point for a full-time career. And that's where I stumbled into Caleb & Brown, which we'll get into what we do here as well. But that's a little bit about me and my experience. I'm super passionate about crypto, and it's great to connect with fellow like-minded people like yourself on the topic.
Well, thank you. Just one thing, that you're more OG than I am. So a lot of stuff I need to ask you about, and perhaps the next half an hour I need to pick your brain on about the market or about Caleb & Brown. But I know Caleb & Brown is a crypto brokerage service, but to a lot of people outside or regular users, it seems very distant. We don't know much what a crypto broker would do. Because honestly speaking, the first time when I heard a crypto brokerage stuff, a broker in general, I thought it was a 1990s idea or something. I didn't know it still exists. So perhaps you could explain to me what a crypto broker does, what Caleb & Brown is doing, in an easy to understand kind of way.
Yeah, that's totally fair. And to be honest, the main reason why you haven't really heard much around brokerages in general in the crypto space is that they're quite rare. And I'd say that we're probably one of the few that are doing it at our scale and operations. The best way to think about it is what you mentioned. Think about the way that traditional finance brokers usually operate in the stock market. We've just incorporated that model and brought it to the crypto space. So the best way to really explain it for someone that has maybe purchased off an exchange before is that through Caleb & Brown, you get your own dedicated broker. That broker is an expert in the crypto space. Most of the brokers that work in our firm have been around crypto for 5+, 6+ years, but they're really there to help guide our clients through whatever part of their crypto journey you're in. So if you're someone that's completely new to crypto, it's really valuable to have someone there to help educate you about this space. It's not like the equity space that it's quite easy to learn. There are a lot of intricacies with assets. How do I custody what I'm purchasing? How do I do so safely? So there's a whole range of elements around current market dynamics. For example, Bitcoin halving. There's a whole range of features and terms that are really difficult to understand. So it's really valuable to actually have someone there that you can go to about your specific portfolio, your risk profile to the space. And really what we do is we just provide a personalized white glove service that we provide in the crypto space. So we've been around since 2016, a really long time, But we've been able to grow our client base because people want to speak to someone about their assets. We've seen it time and time again on these platforms that there isn't a lot of support when it comes to being able to call someone up about your specific portfolio. So that's really what we've emphasized, and it's worked really well. And our clients really love having their own sort of expert there to assist them in their crypto journey.
So you mentioned Caleb and Brown started in 2016, right? So I wonder what led to that creation as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long time in the crypto space, right? Back in 2016, I think there was probably only 3 main assets to invest in, being Bitcoin, ETH, and probably Litecoin. So how the business really started was our co-founders, Rupert and Prash, and our current CEO today, Jackson, were really just helping people invest in crypto. It's difficult today, but you can only imagine how difficult it was back in 2016. So they were helping friends and family that were interested in the asset class, but had no idea how to invest. And then all of a sudden, those friends and family started their friends and family, started telling their friends and family, to the point where the founders came together and were like, I think we may have to create a business out of this. So the whole ethos around providing guidance, support, a personalized service was really what drew them to make the business back in 2016 and what we still do today. I'd say it's a bit more mature now. I'd say it's a lot more mature. It's a lot more educationally focused as well because there's so much content out there that our clients can't possibly always across. So there's a lot more of a focus on that. But certainly the ethos around personalized service is the exact same as how the business operates today.
So I wonder if the CEO of Caleb and Brown, did he start from being a traditional broker? Did he come from the finance world, TradFi world? What's his background?
Yeah, so Jackson's background is really, he's always been interested in crypto personally. When he was quite early an investor in Bitcoin, along with a lot of our other executive team. So just had a really big interest in the space. I think before that, he was actually studying property. So he was quite young at the time when the business started and has really grown as we've grown as a business. But certainly he's probably one of the more knowledgeable people, I'd say, in Australia in the crypto space and probably globally. So he's got a very keen interest and passion for it, as does, I would say, everyone that works in this business, which again is really valuable because our brokers live and breathe it in their personal lives. So it really helps clients that are new to this space or even clients that are crypto native themselves get different perspectives on what's happening on the market, which can help dictate their investment decisions. So we're led by the front, but I would say that we're all super passionate.
Wow, that's great to hear. Caleb and Brown has been around for 9 years. Like it started in 2016, right? So 9 years. So I wonder, obviously you guys are a lot more established compared to before. What are the clients base right now? Who are your main clients? Are they mostly institutions or investors or like just a regular user, just me and you?
I would say it's a pretty wide variety. I think we do a bit of everything. We have a lot of institutions that use us because our service really is at an institutional level. So we can get into custody and how we do that, but we leverage an institutional grade custody solution to provide to clients. We also have best in class liquidity. And we also, as I mentioned, you get that expert broker, you get a support team. It's really the upside of an institutional service that we try and make accessible to all. So I would say it's a very wide variety of institutions, individuals trading through their LLC. So that's a benefit of working with us is that you can actually onboard your LLC or your trust and invest in crypto through that. But then we also just have a lot of everyday clients that are acting in their individual capacity. They want to get exposure to this asset class and work directly one-on-one with a broker. So I'd say it's a mix of all three, but certainly we try and make our services accessible to all, especially those that are starting to get into the crypto space for the first time.
So you mentioned more about the institutional service, like a premium service. I kind of want to take a step back to that. What do you mean by premium service? Like what exactly are the services that Caleb and Brown would offer? Could you give me some examples?
Yeah, so the actual brokerage service itself is considered premium. So when you work with your broker, they'll actually help you with your portfolio construction. They'll get to learn a bit about you and what your investment thesis is because every single one of us has different interests, a different risk profile, and something that we want to get out of crypto. So you'll have a broker to help you through all of that, to help set up exit strategies like we mentioned before. Sometimes having someone else to assist you in setting that up can help you then execute it. When it comes to off-ramping and on-ramping, we provide that service for clients as well, so it's as seamless as possible. So really the first part is around the actual broker themselves provides a top-end premium service that you have access to whenever you need, which is really valuable in times like now when the market's doing really well, but also when we're in a bear market, having access to someone to know where we're at in the cycle, is this a good time to invest, is really valuable. So that aspect alone is really high end and valuable for clients. But then when it comes to custody, I would say that's the other large thing that we do at an institutional level. So we have our own cold storage solution that we offer for clients. It's leveraged through Fireblocks, which I would say are the preeminent custody solution provider in the crypto and TradeFi space. But what it essentially means is that clients can use our custody free of charge. Their assets are stored in cold storage. They aren't rehypothecated. They just sit there until a client decides to make a trade with us or decides to withdraw. And those assets are stored one for one. Now, ideally, I personally think that shouldn't be considered premium. But unfortunately, we've seen what's happened with exchanges in the past, businesses like FTX and Celsius, where you store your assets on these platforms thinking they're safe. And unfortunately, they're not. Those assets are actually getting on-traded and all kinds of nefarious activity are happening. With us, it's the complete opposite. We're purely risk off when it comes to custody and safety of assets. And as I mentioned, it's a cold storage institutional grade service. So if people don't want to necessarily use their own cold wallet, they can use our service as an alternative. But again, it gets us really back to the client and what they want to get out of the service. So I'd say they're probably the main two when it comes to top tier institutional like service.
It does sound very premium, and like you could really put your mind at ease having a Caleb and Brown account. But next part, I wonder if you could do a quick demo, like what a user experience would look like when they sign up a Caleb and Brown account. What can they do? Like any assets that they could trade? Could you do a screen share that would really help our audience?
Absolutely, yeah. So what I'll do is I'll quickly share my screen. So this is just the front page of our website, and it's really seamless and a quick way to get started. The sign up process is you would just click on this top right here to sign up. There would be an initial sign up form that appears, and through there you would just put in your details around email, login, all of those things. As you can see here, I've got a bit of a Cloudflare load that comes up. But it's a simple sign-up form, as you can see, that just details out your specific names. And then once you've filled out this form, you'll be required to go through KYC, which is required for us as a business. But that'll allow you to verify your account and then get access to your own dedicated broker and then access to our dedicated portal as well. So I'll just quickly share the portal and how that looks once you've actually gone through that process. Once you've created an Caleb Brown account and you've verified, you'll not only get access to a direct broker, as I mentioned, but you'll also have access to this portal. Now you'll see here, this is the interface of the Caleb Brown portal. This is a test account currently, but immediately off the back, something that really gets your attention is that you have your own contact broker here. So my broker is Jake. I can click on this little bubble at the top left here and it will detail out his personal details. So his email, his phone numbers, both international and Australian, and allows you to contact him whenever you see fit. It'll also tell you when he is most likely online. Because it's in my later evening here, he's not actually online himself. But the beauty of working with a business like ours is that someone is always managing his inbox. So Jake will have account managers within the US that are monitoring his email to ensure that any client interactions or requests or trades that come through, someone from our team will be able to action those. But this is just a simple interface of the portal. Yeah. Sorry, Jamie?
I just saw the phone number. Does it mean I could just call the broker whenever I want?
That's a great question. We usually recommend that our clients try and book in calls with our brokers. As you can imagine, they have a lot of clients that they are on calls with usually. There is every chance that if you call them, they will respond and pick up. But if not, we usually find that emailing your broker and trying to sort a time where they can really dedicate their full attention towards you and your portfolio is probably best. But if you need something urgent, I would recommend emailing your broker. And if you need, trying to call them as well. That's best practice. It depends on the broker usually. But I would say email and then organize a call is the best way to go.
So when a user sign up Caleb and Brown account, do they straight up get an allocated broker and all these contact information?
Yeah, correct. So As soon as a client signs up and verifies their account, they'll get introduced via an email through to their broker. So when I created my account, Jake would have emailed me introducing himself, providing a link for that client to actually set up a call and speak to Jake for the first time over the phone. But the broker will reach out on their behalf to introduce themselves. And then from there, you'll really have the opportunity to build that relationship for our brokers to learn a bit more about you and what you're trying to get out of the service and really start to invest and go from there. But it doesn't stop the client themselves from coming into the portal and having to play around, maybe to depositing crypto themselves. So as you can see here, there's a whole range of functionality on the left-hand side here. So clients can come in and execute trades themselves through the portal, or if they don't want to go through the portal and they want to go through their broker like Jake, they can email their broker with their trade requests and the broker will execute it on behalf of the client. So it gives the flexibility and optionality to do both. And again, it really just comes down to the preference of the client and what they want to get out of the service. Some will do trades exclusively through the broker via email. Some will speak to their broker, get the relevant insights, and then decide when their time is right to make the swap or the trade themselves within the portal. So it's really up to the client and what they want to get out of the service.
Yeah, I think this really is a premium service, and I'll argue it's VVIP service if I get like allocated broker and I get basically ask any questions during the call. Yeah, I wonder if like users have to hold like a minimal amount of funds in exchange for that VVIP service, or they just get a broker straight off the bat.
Yeah, it's a great question. As I mentioned before, it's the upside of institutional service, but we try and make it accessible for all. So when it comes to getting started with Caleb Brown, there's no requirement to upfront any capital straight away. So you can create an account for free. You can speak a broker for free without having to deposit any money into Caleb Brown. The only, I would say, limit we have is a 500 USD trade limit. So let's just say you decide to make a trade with us. There is a 500 USD minimum. That is the only limitation that we have. So let's just say that, Jamie, you already have crypto. You have $10,000 on Coinbase, and you decide that you want to use our cold storage solution. You could deposit that crypto by going into the deposit section and then deposit crypto. And you could move those assets over and there'd be no fee to do that. There'd be no cost on your end. And you could still speak to your broker without any fees occurring. So it's really just on the trade that we have that limitation. But in terms of using the service and wondering and figuring out whether it's right for you, you can do that without having any capital allocated at the start. So that's really important because we want our clients to at least try the service before they feel confident enough to actually use it by trading with us and holding assets with us. That's really how we operate.
I'm sure all the brokers in Caleb and Brown will get a lot of calls every single day if their service is so premium. But I want to go back to the deposit button you were showing earlier. So does it mean when user, let's say, deposits some BTC, they will just use Caleb and Brown as if they're using Ledger or any cold wallets option because the assets one-to-one backing?
Correct. Yes. Unfortunately, it's a test account. So if I try and generate the wallet for Bitcoin here, it'll say there's an error. But ultimately, what this sheet really is that every single asset that we store for clients, each client will have their own distinct wallet. So normally, if I click on Bitcoin, what will pop up here is a Bitcoin address, and then you'll be able to deposit your Bitcoin into your Caleb Brown Bitcoin wallet address. And then once that Bitcoin is held with us, as you were exactly right, it's held one for one. It's stored away in cold storage, and it literally just sits there until the client instructs their broker or they do it themselves to make a trade or withdraw assets. So depositing crypto through us is quite a simple process. It's pretty similar to how you would do it on an exchange, where an exchange would have unique wallet addresses for you as well. And you can see that for all of these assets, it would generate a wallet address, and then you would just transfer those assets over. A little different for fiat, but let's just say in the scenario that you're in the US and you want to move US dollars from your bank account into your Caleb Brown account, you would select the relevant currency. So as you can see here, we accept 5 different currencies, all the major ones around the globe. And then you'll be able to make a bank wire transfer into your own Caleb Brown account. to then use that fiat to make trades or what have you with Caleb & Brown as well. So it's quite an intuitive way to operate. But again, if you're having issues with this, you're not quite sure how to use the portal, that's where you have your broker to reach out to who can assist you in getting you set up.
That kind of leads me to the next question, and I'm asking on behalf of the viewers because I know what they will feel as like a regular users. When they deposit crypto onto Caleb & Brown, what if there's unexpected events? Like how does Caleb & Brown ensure the money is really there? Users' funds are secure and all that.
I'd probably need a bit more information on what like the error or issue would be. But ultimately, if there was ever an issue in terms of a lot of the time, our clients are trying to deposit fiat, as an example, and they're having issues with their banks that may reject that bank wire transfer. In that scenario, that's where your broker would be on the front foot to contact you to inform you that, in fact, something's happened in terms of getting those assets deposited onto our platform. And we would work really closely with our banking partners, ensure that whatever's occurring on your end when it comes to your bank account, we get that solved as easily as possible and swiftly as possible. Now, if it pertains to issues with our custody and how that works, clients should never feel scared that their client assets aren't there. Everything's verifiable on chain. And as I mentioned, we store client assets one for one. So if a client decides to make a trade, those assets are readily available and their specific assets are readily available. The one thing that we do that's I'd say quite different to most other platforms and exchanges, that we actually use our own working capital to get trades executed. So in that instance, let's just say you held 1 Bitcoin with us and that sits in cold storage in your own separate wallet. If you decided, in fact, I want to trade that Bitcoin into US dollars and deposit or withdraw that, to my bank account, instead of moving your 1 Bitcoin then to one of our liquidity providers, getting that trade executed and moving it back, we would actually use our own Bitcoin as a business to execute that trade on behalf of the client. And then at the end of the day, we would just settle up to ensure that whatever that trade was is balanced up on our back end. But ultimately, any issues that pertain to a client's account, or if they're having issues getting on-ramp or off-ramped, we have a support team. The client has a broker, a direct point of contact they can reach out to ensure that any issue is resolved as quickly as possible.
I love that service, right? I think there'll be like a direct competitor to just like a regular crypto exchange. And I hate myself. Why didn't I learn about this earlier? And it will save me a lot of mistakes because like we all been there. As a crypto beginner, it was intimidating. So having someone to hold your hand step by step and guide you through whether it's like security, how to send funds over, or like just having some like market analysis from someone, that would be really helpful. But so in exchange for this like premium service, I know, okay, what I learned from you is that every single one straight off the bat, when they sign up a Caleb & Brown account, they don't even need to deposit any money yet. They would get an allocated broker to speak to on the phone, and the minimum trade amount is 500 USDT. 500 USD. Sorry, 500 USD. So I wonder what is like the transaction fee structure. How would you guys make money from offering all these services, such premium services?
Yeah, it's a great question. And as a business, we've really tried to emphasize transparency when it comes to all things in what we do, and also just how crypto is naturally, unfortunately, there can be quite a lack of transparency. And so when it comes to fee structure, we try and make that as transparent as possible for our clients, so it's clear and evident what they're getting charged. And so as a business, we just charge on the transaction, and that's the only fee that we'll charge a client. So on a buy, sell, or swap with Caleb & Brown, we charge a 3.5% fee. But as I mentioned, that's the only fee. So unfortunately, some of the hidden costs that you'll see on other platforms pertain around swaps, spreads, slippage, Forex costs. A lot of the times we see withdrawal limits as well. So there's a lot of hidden costs that unfortunately we see on other platforms that once a user actually uses, they don't realize they're being charged out on the back end. With us, it'll be as clear and transparent as possible as to what the fee is. It'll just be on that transaction, and that's the only fee that we'll charge. So there's no brokerage fees. So you can speak to your broker whenever you like. You can contact them without there being any fee. There's no custody fee as well, which is really important when it comes to if you're going to store your assets with us long term. As I mentioned as well, no withdrawal fees. So when it comes to off-ramping, you can do so all in one go and at size. So let's just say you do really well and you have 200 grand that you need to withdraw into your bank account. Unfortunately, we see on other platforms, they'll charge you a withdrawal fee to get that done. And they may limit you to say 20K per day, which will take you over 10 days to get that all off your account. With us, we'll do it all in one go. We'll do 6-figure, 7-figure withdrawals, and we won't charge the client anything for it. So we really believe in that as a business, that we don't want to hemorrhage our clients. We want to make sure that, look, if they do really well and they profit and make a great investment decision, that they aren't being charged for that too significantly. So that's our fee structure and that's how we operate.
Yeah, that's very tempting for sure. Like for on-ramp and off-ramp, because like personally, I get paid in USDT quite a lot. So like having this service, like I'll personally use that for sure. But
yeah, and that's, sorry to cut you off. I wanted to make a note of that because a lot of people don't realize where they're going to exit or how they're going to exit until it's too late and they've made their profits. And I've been guilty of that as well. So I think it's really important, whether it's Caleb & Brown or some other platform, that you do at least trial a test withdrawal. See how much you may be getting charged. See what your limits are, because there's nothing more stressful than doing really well with your portfolio, wanting to then withdraw that into your bank account and then realizing it's going to take you a really long period of time to do it. So I think whether it's with us or what other platform anyone on this call is using, it's really important to at least do that. So when the time comes to actually withdraw, that you can do so confidently and safely.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Like not only on-ramp and off-ramp, but like whenever you send to a new wallet, you should always like test a small amount first. That would really help. All right. So you mentioned users can trade more than 300 assets, digital assets on Caleb & Brown. I'm sure some people would, like some of my viewers, they are more degen and maybe they want to trade like some meme coins or shit coin on Solana. I wonder if they could get any guidance from the broker, call them, okay, what to do on the Phantom wallet. Would broker offer any guidance as well?
Yeah, so I mean, that all encompasses what the broker does with our clients. So the best example that I give is, as I mentioned before, we offer cold storage solution for our clients, but we actually encourage our clients to use their own hardware wallets if they're comfortable and confident to do. So a lot of the time, our brokers will actually assist them in either getting their cold wallet set up or assisting them with whatever support question they have. A lot of the time, especially for new people to the crypto space, there are a lot of bad actors out there and scams. So we'll have a lot of brokers get calls from their clients, just double checking that the platform or the service that they're using is legitimate. So that, again, is all encompassing of what the broker will assist our clients with. And so when it comes to investing in the degen assets that we've all done before, our brokers can provide guidance on, it's not so much the utility of these assets, obviously, because a lot of the time that there isn't none, but really just the risks associated, especially with people that are new to the space, to understand that, look, if your entire portfolio is heavy meme coins and shit coins, it's probably a lot on the riskier side and it may not be a great long-term sustainable investment strategy. So just ensuring that they're informed of that and maybe providing a bit of guidance around how they could alternatively make up their portfolio. But certainly when it comes to guidance and assistance, that's where you can speak to your broker, you can speak to our support team. There's someone there to actually speak to on the other end when it comes to any concerns around your portfolio.
Yeah, that's great to hear, especially for some of my degen viewers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were sharing the portal earlier, but it was like the website version. I wonder if moving forward, there will be like a phone app, or what's the plan moving forward for Caleb & Brown?
Yeah, that's a great question and one we honestly get all the time. I can say that we're in the final stages of testing for our mobile app. We've actually just been approved by the iOS Apple Store. So I can't give a definitive date because I feel like we've been saying for a while that it's coming. But certainly I would expect sometime this year in 2025, we'll be releasing our mobile app. It'll go live most likely on the Apple Store first and then eventually for Android users. But certainly we know how many people use their mobile to make crypto investment decisions every day. So we wanted to make sure that our app, when it does go live, it's operating without a hitch. that our clients can use it all the time with no downtime, which is something that our portal has experienced so far. So certainly that will go live, we hope, at some point throughout this year, and give our clients the option to use their mobile app as well.
Well, I can't wait to try out the phone app because that will be like very convenient for sure. But okay, last question, because we've talked about some misconception about crypto broker because like everyday users will find it very distant and maybe it's not for us. But like after jumping on this call with you, like it's actually very convenient, and especially when like a crypto beginner starting out, they're going to make mistakes, but like having some actual guidance, setting a call with a professional broker, thinking back for my crypto journey, like if I had that person, like I would really appreciate that. So moving forward, how do you see like Caleb and Brown in terms of crypto adoption, like maybe like in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, I think we will just continue to ride the wave of overall adoption of crypto, both at an institutional level, but really just what we're seeing now with really the mainstream usage of crypto. It's continually evolving, more and more people wanting to get exposure to this asset class, but they want to do so in a safe way. They want to do so where they can actually speak to someone about their investment. And that's certainly what we've found, is that many more clients are becoming more confident in this space because BlackRock, the largest institutions, are creating ETFs for them now. We have key government support within major jurisdictions like the US. So more and more people want to get exposure to this asset class, but they want to do so in a way where they can actually educate themselves. They have someone that they can speak to about their investment. They want a way to custody their assets safely. So we've just found that naturally we're continuing to grow as demand and interest for the crypto space in general grows. So I think that's the biggest thing. And certainly moving forward as a business, we're just looking to provide our personalized premium service at as good of a scale as we can. So we know that the US is the biggest market for us as a business. We're in plans of opening up a US office quite soon. We want to provide that top tier personalized service, not only today with how we do it, but we want to be front of mind for our clients, for them to have a presence that they can come into the office, meet their broker in person, and really build that relationship face to face. I think that's really the next step of what we're doing and where we're pivoting. Now, are there a bunch of features that we'll be looking to implement along the way? Of course. We know that staking is something that always comes up for our clients, and they want to custody their assets safely, but they want to earn yield on it as well. We're still trying to find the balance between how we do that while still protecting our customers' assets as best as possible. But there's going to be a whole range of developments and innovation in this space that we'll certainly ride the wave of as well. That's how we'll continue to operate as a business, and it's really exciting to see more and more people enter into this asset class.
But it's been a valuable talk with you, and I've learned that in fact a lot of people actually need a broker, because I would say crypto is like a lot more complex compared to TradFi world, because like we are adopting not only traditional finance, some of the nature of traditional finance, but we have new terms and like new like degen nature in the crypto world. So like having a broker would really help. Thanks for your time. And if you guys watching this want to try out the premium service that Caleb and Brown is offering, make sure to sign up using the link in the description box below. And thanks, Jim. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Jamie. Thank you for having me.
As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you like what Caleb and Brown is doing, feel free to learn more about it using the link below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for more regular updates, and I'll see you guys in the next one.